Hello?
Hello,
Hi, how are you?
I'm well. What do you got for me?
Uh, so I just wanted to make a little comment about
First
being
name.
able to change.
First name, please.
Sorry?
What's your
Oh,
first name?
Brittany.
Okay, Brittany, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Let me
I
say
just
this.
found your channel. I like it.
Cool, thank you. Let me say something
Okay.
to people. I've talked to the men on my Patreon. We got to start being so informal with each other. Please, when you call in, introduce yourself. So, hi, Brittany, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. What do you have for me?
So I do think that as a people, like to change. Although I think that as a whole, we probably have issues with confronting being different from the crowd. And when you start to
Meaning
change,
what? What do you mean different from the crowd?
I think I just kind of found that most of the time when you're wanting to change, you're usually inspired by your direct surroundings,
Okay.
which means you're looking around at people and you're saying, I don't want to be like you. I want to be different from what I'm seeing, what I'm experiencing. And so if we were changing
Mm-hmm.
to kind of join the crowd, it'd be a lot easier. But oftentimes we're kind of moving away from things that we know and that we're used to. And so I think that there's just some insecurity in, am I doing the right thing? There's a lot of people who are going to tell you that you're not. And you're kind of on your own until you find your new group. And then you realize, oh, okay, I'm in my lane.
So, how's that working? How old are you?
I'm 33.
So, perfect spot 27 to 35. I call that the danger zone.
I
No,
agree.
the danger zone. It's the years between uh before 35, which is where high risk pregnancy starts. Are you married or have you been married?
No,
Do
not
you
yet.
do you want to be married?
Yes.
Are you in a serious relationship now?
No, I'm newly single. I'm like 6 months out.
Okay. And how long was your previous relationship?
About 4 years.
Oh,
And he was about 10 years older.
okay. Put on a pot of coffee. Let's go to work.
Yeah.
All right. So tell me, I'm curious. I'm really curious. Okay, you were with a guy that was 10 years older for four
Hmm.
years.
Yeah.
You can't know what you did not know at the beginning. Granted. Um, what were you marriage minded when you started?
I was boyfriend minded, which sounds kind of weird, but keep
No,
in
it
mind I was
doesn't.
kind of young.
No, it doesn't.
Okay. I was set on finding a relationship. I felt that'd be the first step.
Right.
And then, I had to kind of get that out the way and get
Mm-hmm.
somebody who wasn't going to be like a toxic person.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I just saw a lot of people who were coming in and out of relationships and they were so damaged and it takes
Mm-hmm.
years to bounce back and lose the weight
So,
and all that
but you went
stuff.
to college though, right?
No, I
Okay.
I stopped halfway through.
Okay.
So I have an AA and then I stopped halfway
All
through.
right.
I'm a
What?
realtor
You're a real. Okay. You're a realtor. So you've been in your
in
career for how
Los
long?
Angeles.
Oh, okay.
I'm a
Congratulations.
brand new realtor
Okay.
just since January.
Okay. So what I'm trying to see is if, like in corporate America,
Hmm.
one of the things I noticed after college is all of the white people, the non-black people, started to get married from 23 to 27. They were going to weddings. I mean, it was ridiculous. In the
Hmm.
office I worked in, one woman went to 7 weddings in one season. 7.
Right.
And that's what the always a bridesmaid, never a bride.
Right.
That ain't what you hear in Black America. Because what I noticed is black women were not going. I worked for a large company, and I was seeing all these average-looking white women going to wedding, and they were. And here's, you know what I heard, Brittany? I heard one woman say, "I'm this is me. I am broke." It's like every weekend I'm going to a wedding. I got to go to San Antonio for this. And I got to go because you have to buy the dress and this and that. And it was fascinating to me that I'm like that these women felt compelled to have to go spend $400-500 to attend a friend's wedding. But then the sisters was just out kicking it. So the pressure was on white women in this office to get married because by age 30, everybody was married up. So when you say you were boyfriend minded at 29, it makes sense because I don't think a lot of black women really see themselves being married until later in life.
No, and my parents are still together, but they had me very, very early. And a lot of my friends and cousins the same. So
Mm-hmm.
I think that there was maybe a little bit more encouragement for us to wait and be young and have your own apartment and things like that I
Right.
didn't get to have because I got married so young.
Okay. So okay. So you were with your boyfriend for 4 years, and when you got into it, you were boyfriend minded. At what point was there a point where you wanted it to go further and he didn't?
No,
Okay. Okay.
opposite.
He wanted it to go further and you didn't.
That's yes in the present tense, yes, but
Okay.
I don't think that's going to be my choice.
Oh, I'm confused. Okay. So y'all were together 4 years and he wanted to marry. He was talking about getting married, but you didn't want to marry him.
Yes, we were together for 4 years, and I think that's something that he would want to do, but I don't think he is. I think he's more wedding minded than marriage minded, and
Mm-hmm.
so I'm just making a decision to
Okay.
seek a better,
Has
like
he asked you
equally
to?
yoked.
Has he? Okay. Um, has
No, he has not asked me to marry him. No,
he
I
brought
never
up
had
the
to actually.
subject to you?
Oh yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And when you say equally yoked, what do you mean?
Well, I just had family, like my parents and my mom, and kind of pull me to the side and say, listen,
Are you talking about
is
money?
this, uh, he did all right with money. I just don't think I think I had a very kind of stable, sheltered kind of a upbringing.
Okay.
And I think I may have certain expectations for just kind of a traditional, just the way that a traditional marriage goes and family goes, and he did not have that, and so I just
Okay.
didn't think I was going to
Okay.
be.
Okay. So 4 years, you start talking about serious stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Was his mother and father married?
No, I don't think he knows his father.
All right. So, but you were with him for 4 years, and during some of the best years, some of the most not best years, some of the most
Prime years.
critical years, prime years you were already 28 or 29 by the time you were with him. Prime is already passed. You're in the
Oh, okay.
critical years, the years where you can't afford to waste time. So what I'm trying to
Right.
figure out is, I'm hearing you say that basically the way you're sounding is he was cool to be a boyfriend, but he's not husband material because they're not equally yoked. And I'm trying to understand, is it a money thing? What does that yoked mean? That's broad with women. Did he
I
make
think it's
enough money?
more.
Did he
It's like
make
a
it on?
lifestyle.
So let me. Okay. Did he make enough money for you to be married to him?
It wasn't it wasn't consistent. Not something you want to bring a child into.
Okay. So and lifestyle is a result of his income. Okay, so he made enough money to be a boyfriend, but not husband.
Yeah, probably something I would have mentioned is that because I was in such a unique part of my life, going from my 20s to my 30s, I had changed careers, bumped up like 30,000 in salary. Like so many different things had happened to me in that time frame that I was kind of like, oh, now I understand.
So basically, when you were in the middle, it
I
was
was
okay,
very young and naive.
but then when you start making more money, then all of a sudden he didn't look as good.
Well, no, he still made more than me, so it wasn't that. It was more of like, hey,
Wait,
now we make more money. Do you want to
okay?
get a house?
Does he make more than you now?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, now no.
Okay, when you were together.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm not understanding. Okay,
it's how you want to spend the money. It's how you want to set up your life.
Well, but that's when you're husband. Okay, why spend 4 years with a guy if you want to get married?
Well, I think in the beginning, I thought I had enough time to decide. And then I think I had to kind of stop listening to, him saying that it was the right path. It took a while for me to kind of just follow my instincts. Is probably the short way to put it.
So do you want to be a stay-at-home wife or do you want to work?
I like to be able to stay with my kids when they're young enough to avoid daycare, but I probably would always still be a realtor on the side and make money.
So you want to be a stay-at-home wife?
Temporarily, at least.
How many children?
Maybe not permanently.
How many children do you want to have?
I'm going to be very realistic now. I'm an only child. Maybe two, if I can get it.
Let me stop you right there. Have you had therapy?
No, I haven't had
You
therapy.
need
Well,
it. You
I
need
I
it.
have a
No,
good
no,
group.
you need it.
I'm
You,
down for therapy.
you
My
need
friends are all in therapy.
you need it. It's called only child syndrome. I'm an only child. I know of what I speak. That's why I'm sitting here listening to you. I'm like, there's something more going on in this. Only
I've heard that term, but I only know if that is like what being spoiled, or I
yes,
don't know what that
spoiled,
means.
selfish,
Adult.
unrealistic. Spoiled, selfish, unrealistic, inability to play well with others, lack of ability to make and or sustain lasting relationships, leaning towards narcissism, leaning towards the dark triad of personality traits. Yeah, we're fucked up.
I'll have to look into that.
I'm telling you,
But
I will
I
tell you,
do
I would.
actively,
Here's the thing. It's not for sure. Being an only child, we grow up sooner than we have to. We tend to be more precocious, but we're
yes.
very spoiled in the sense that unless you do things early on, like early on in life, I started doing things outside of myself, volunteering and things like that, because my father's side of the family had more children. As long story short, I had a nice amount of balance, but still,
Mm.
all my friends who are only children never marry. So when I'm listening to
Oh,
you talk about a guy that you dated for 4 years, and it's almost as though you're talking about him as though you were here and he was there, but he's making more money than you. You don't have a college degree. You did have a major bump, but he's still out earning you. And I'm asking, why stay in a relationship so long if you knew you wanted to get married and have children?
well, yeah, I think I kind of was so focused on getting the first thing complete. And then I'll be honest,
Uh huh.
um, once I hit 30, I started to hear a lot of women tell me, like, hey, be careful before
Were these women
you're going to
married?
leave. People,
Were these women married?
I mean, at different points of their life, but no.
Right. So they
My
weren't.
mom is excluded from that.
So your mother and your father are married.
Yes, they're happily married now, and they weren't really the ones saying this.
Okay. And they've been married for how long?
They've been together since they were 13, married since I was 6, but they've always been together. They just were really,
Okay.
really young.
So you had good role model.
Mm-hmm.
So at 33, if you want to have two children, um, would you say you are ready to be a wife?
I think. What do you mean? Do you mean in what sense? Like
It's not a trick
financially?
question, man.
Um, Holistically, I don't know, because I don't know what to expect. I mean, I think I'm ready
Your
to
mother was
try,
a
but
wife. Your mother was a wife.
right.
Are you ready to be your mother?
Yeah, I could. Yeah, because I'm a lot like my mom.
Does she work?
She works and she has her own business.
Okay. And was your so with your father, who made the final decision in your family? Was your mother or your father?
Like just in the household?
Period.
My dad made the
Yeah.
final decision, but he's not. He cares about the women in his family's opinions very much. So we got to talk and give our opinions quite a bit, but he made the final decision.
So if you needed to get something done, would you get your mom to do it or would you get your dad to do it?
Depends on what it is.
So
My dad's more laid back, so it depends on
so
if I need
so
the.
let me just go ahead and cut to the chase. Your dad did not make the final decision. Your mother made the final decision. I can tell by the way you answered the question. I'm sitting here just shaking my head because, man.
Well, can you give me an example of what a final decision?
Yeah, meaning that if you came from a strong household where you had a strong leader father, that question would have been no nuance. Like when I ask you questions, there's all this hedging and kind of sort of holistic. No, that's not the product of a strong father. That's the product of a more passive or beta father and a stronger mother. Just like your dominant kind of personality is the result of a dominant female and a weaker male.
You know what it is? I'm
Yeah, I do
actually a
know what it is.
lot more
I do know
dominant
what
than
it
my
is.
mom.
I
My
do know.
mom is very feminine, but
Uh-huh.
the thing about it is I definitely took after uh the men in my family.
So
And my
did your
mom always says
father?
that to me.
So what did your father think about your ex-boyfriend?
I think he liked he liked him, but he does not. I don't think he thought that was ideal for me. So we would
Okay.
talk about it a
So
lot.
before your ex-boyfriend, So 4 years, you don't know exactly what your father thought of?
No, I do. I think that he liked him as a person, as an individual. Like there was nothing that was
The
wrong with him when
question
he
is,
was like,
how did your father think about him for you?
he didn't think it was the ideal relationship for me,
All
but he
right,
liked the guy for the
all right,
guy.
all right. And then what about the relationship before that one? What's the longest relationship you had before that one?
Maybe 2 years.
Okay.
And
And
that was when I was a little younger, and I don't really remember involving my parents much. I was like probably 23.
okay. And then what about before that?
Uh, Nothing that I would call serious.
So
Just like
so you were 23 with the previous relationship, 23 to 25?
no, actually, I wasn't. I was 20 to 23, I think.
So 20 to 23, that's
Yeah, I was
3 years. Okay, 20 to 23. So you had a 3 year relationship and a 4 year relationship.
yeah, because I turned
Okay,
21 in that
so
relationship.
listen. So this is what I'm about to say. You didn't involve your family in that 3 year relationship.
No, I
That's
was
why your
smart.
father was not a dominant man. There's no way a 20-year-old woman should be in a 3 year relationship at 20 years old and her family ain't involved in none of this stuff. Then you turn around, listen, then you turn around at 29 and you live a 4 year or 28 and have a 4 year relationship. You've had two long-term relationships. That is part of that only child thing.
The keeping it to yourself or the length of time.
Well, several things, man. Several things. But this, unfortunately, this happens to a lot of black women, only child or not. It's not uncommon to hear black women in their mid 30s who've had several suitable men. There's no way you can be with somebody for 3 years if he's not suitable.
Well,
there's no way you can be with somebody for 3 years if they're not suitable. You may want to go back and revise history, but this ain't my first rodeo. And what I'm saying
I see your point.
Well, yeah. And the thing is, if
don't count my first one though, that wasn't suitable.
I'm counting your first, and it was 3 years.
Wasn't suitable. But take my word for that. But I learned, and then I decided, like, hey, let me get into something that's a little bit more.
You've learned that. Let me challenge that. You've learned, right?
Well, I learned from the first one to the second one to try to be. I just kind of continued to try to hone in. So
you've had a 3 year and a 4 year. But you still,
so now
but you're still in charge. But you're still in charge of who you're going to date the next time, and you still have had no therapy.
I'm considering it because my friend's having a lot of positivity with it, and I used to want to be a psychologist.
Considering it means no.
No, I would. I actually
would. Brittany, listen. Nobody sees your picture. No one sees your face. But what I'm saying is, you've been in charge of the last two long-term relationships that you picked men who were not suitable, not on the level of being a provider, lifestyle, whatever you say, you've picked them with no input from any other man. You've listened to a bunch of other women who have no track record of success with men, and you're still in charge of this process. You have not gone to sit down with a counselor to understand what's going on with you because you keep picking these people. I'm telling you that you need therapy. That's not an insult. But you're 33. But you're 33 years old. You have no time to waste. If you want 2 children, even if you met the man tomorrow, it would take 6 months before you're married. If you got pregnant on your wedding day, you may be kicking one kid out by age 34 and a half or 35. Your second child would be high risk.
Yeah,
and if you don't want to, and if you don't, but you're not talking like you're doing anything about it. And if you're in LA, the cost of living is not inexpensive. If you want to take off until they're school age, till they're kindergarten, till they go to kindergarten or first grade, which one?
No, I don't think I'll be able to do first grade.
But what would you want?
Maybe like maybe preschool.
Preschool, which is what?
So I think that's like 3 or 4.
Oh, preschool can be anything, but okay. Let's just say 3 or 4. If you want to have 2 kids, that's still 5 years out of work.
Yeah.
That's still 5 years out of work in LA. So that means you're going to need somebody in LA. It's going to make it around 2 kids, 400, close to $500,000 a year in LA for you not to work for 2 years, for 5 years. What are the chances of you meeting a guy who's making $300,000 a year in LA?
Well, the family that I do know who stayed home, who are about my age, they don't stay home and live that kind of a lifestyle. They do a lot of couponing. You know, they cut corners.
Ma'am, I have clients in LA, and I've thought about moving to LA. LA, the cost of living is on par with New York City. It's expensive.
Well, I have family. My
ma'am,
cousin
but
who's
we're
a year
talking
or two older,
about
she
you
tells
and
me to move to Texas. I don't know.
So let's throw one more freaking thing into the fire. See how you're all over the board. Let me think what you just said.
No.
Listen.
It's just when you get to a certain age, you get a lot of opinions.
No, well, how about this? You got a lot of opinion from a lot of women. How about this?
Yeah.
And that's the problem. That's why you're all over the place. You don't listen to your father because he's not going to point you in a direction because he's just hands off. He's watched you drive your relationships into 2, a 3-year, and a 4-year ditch. That's not what your father wants for you. But apparently he doesn't have.
He's concerned with religion. So
whatever he's not doing, he's not concerned with helping you. Maybe he knows that you ain't gonna listen to him.
I think that's probably right.
Well, I know because you're a stubborn, bullheaded, only fucking child.
Yeah, probably.
I know. No, probably.
I will.
That's another reason why you're by yourself. You're a pain. You will be a pain you'll be a good girlfriend, but you'll be a horrible long-term wife because you're hard-headed. This is what the therapy's for, man. Because I'm just running the numbers. I'm running the numbers. You said, well, that number you threw out there. Well, coupons. There ain't enough fucking coupons to cut to bring down the cost of living in LA. Well, we can move to Texas. So let me get this right. You're going to meet a guy who can have you staying at home, and all of a sudden he's going to move from California, LA, and have that job there? That makes no sense.
No. Like she was telling me I should, now that I'm
Who's
single,
she? Who's she?
My cousin who is a stay-at-home mom, but she lives in Texas. She was telling me like
your cousin is stay-at-home mom is okay, but she
was saying LA is not the place.
Unmute yourself.
Oops.
Let me ask you something. Let me ask you a direct question. When you're talking to men in your life, in just day-to-day life, do you overtalk them?
Depends on if I like them or not. I'll be honest.
Is that
romantically? Not romantic. Yeah.
How about this? Romantically? So how about this? How would you, honestly, do you think that's rude?
To overtalk?
A man, yes.
I know they don't like it.
What about it? What if a guy
it's rude.
What about it? But see, you can overtalk a woman because there's no threat of anything. See, in a state of nature, what happens when a female decides to get too aggressive or try to dominate a male?
They assert their dominance.
Right. So only in this country have we, in this westernized world, have men been restricted to not knock the furniture out your mouth. When you continue to overtalk a man, especially even on his show, I don't care if you're romantic or not, you're still trying to overtalk me to where I had to mute you. That's rude. And you know it is.
Sorry.
Would you do that with a white man?
I don't know. I never thought about that.
Really?
Probably.
Really? So when you're at work, where do you work? You work as a real estate agent?
Yeah, but I did work in corporate before, so I was in that dynamic before.
Right. But, so you overtalk white men that way too?
That's what I was going to say. Strangely, all of my managers and stuff were women. I don't think I've ever had a male
okay.
manager.
Again, and then your father sounds like he was very hands-off. I'm going to be polite.
He's very hands-on, but I understand what you mean as far as in certain areas of your life being
How about
hands-off.
this? How about this? Even you're still trying to be right. I don't care if you're a whole headache. Whole headache. You ain't got to worry about being married, especially to a man that's going to be able to provide and let you stay at home. The best you're going to get is working, if you get lucky and find a man. Don't no man want to hear this. I'm going to be honest. Don't no man want to hear this. You think you got it all together. You want to tell me what your cousin who's married. I don't want to hear what some married woman in Texas say.
No, I'm just trying to give you some perspective.
I don't give a shit about your perspective. You can't even get your life going right. Why do I need to hear your perspective? Has it worked for you? How's that working for you?
Well, that's what I'm
How's that
talking
working
about
for
me.
you? How's that working for you?
What?
How's your perspective working? How's your perspective in trying to get me right on all the nuances? How's that working for you? Have you ever dated a man? Have you ever dated a man who was a high earner, not rich yet? Have you ever dated a man who's well off, got his stuff together, knows where he's going, and in charge of his life?
No.
I wonder why.
Well, by my standard, I think you would agree, though. I'm assuming you'd agree.
I said, I wonder why. Do you think a high earner, not rich yet, would put up with this?
Like me talking a lot? Not unless he's
not talking a lot. You being combative. You wanting to be right on the argument. This is more than only child. We've gone far past only child. You've gone into typical black female fuckery, honestly. You've gone smooth into it. There's a reason you're 33 and chronically unmarried. It's not because you're not attractive and can get a man to say, I will be seen in public with you. It's just you can't get a quality man.
Well, I think what I'm trying to kind of gauge now is just like finding some good examples to try to kind of get an idea of how they operate, so you can kind of see like the differences. Like, okay.
Why do you think that works?
Examples?
Yeah,
finding examples?
Why not? Okay. You're 33. You're not 23. You're acting like you got all the time in the world.
No, I don't think that.
So you're still trying to do it the slow way. Why? Here's a question. Have you ever thought about going to sit down with a therapist?
That's interesting. I actually thought I was doing it the fast way. That's the slow way?
That was a question. Did you hear it?
But I don't have a problem with therapy. I think it's
there was a
question.
See, the polite thing to do is to answer a question and not answer it with another question. See, that's polite. Did you hear the question?
Can you repeat it for me?
Exactly. Or was what? Or no. What did you think? What did you think I said?
Why haven't I considered going to a therapist at this point at 33?
I said, have you ever considered going to therapy? Yes.
I haven't pulled the trigger, but maybe is that the fast way?
Why haven't you pulled the trigger?
Let me think about that for a second. Why haven't I pulled the trigger?
Mm-hmm.
I guess I just figured that's something you do when you get to a different stage in your life, like maybe when you want to be more reflective. I never considered.
You mean when you get too old to do anything? You mean when you get too old and you fucked up too much to do anything about it?
Well, maybe, yeah. I guess I always thought of therapy as something you do kind of to like unpack, you know?
So,
I never thought of it as
so basically you feel like you're just normal and even killed and everything's A-okay.
Well, I think it depends on where I want to be.
No, ma'am, that's a very simple question. See, when I ask you a very simple question, it always comes down to this. Well, it depends on where you want to. At 33 years old, did you think you would be here, unmarried, no prospects? That's a yes or no. That's a yes or no.
I am an overthinker.
That's a yes or a no.
No.
That's a yes.
I would say overall no.
That's a no.
No. No.
So if you're not where you thought you would be, is that not a problem? That's a yes or no question again.
If you're not where you thought you'd be, is that a problem?
Yes.
Yeah, I would say so.
All right. So if you had a
Very likely, at least.
destination, if you had a goal, a destination, and you said we're going to get there by a certain time, and you look up and you're not anywhere, you're nowhere close to your goal. At what point?
That's a problem.
Right. So you had a 3-year relationship that you don't even want to count. That's a problem that you don't even want to count that. You involved nobody else, and you jumped right back on the carousel and decided to ride around again, and then pick somebody else who was 10 years older than you, and took another 4 years, and then jumped back off.
Right.
At what point do you realize that you're not the best picker of men? And maybe instead of trying to look at videos and just talking to this woman, talk to that woman, you need someone, just talk to somebody to get all these overthinking things in your head out on paper. Because all this overthinking, it ain't done shit for you.
Well, yeah, or at least it'll give me someone else to ramble to, right, before I go home.
Well, you're not gonna ramble. You're gonna pay.
Right. That is true.
Yeah, you're going to pay. That's what you need to, because the people who will listen to this shit for free are either more screwed up than you, or extremely bored.
This lady is just trying to get on someone's last name. She's just trying to get on someone for marriage so that she can take the person's last name for retirement benefits. Let's be honest. Throughout the whole conversation, this lady is not trying to get married because she thinks that marriage is important or marriage is just going to benefit the Black community in general. She's doing it because she has seen herself being older and she just have to do it. So she's doing it for her selfish reasons, not because of, the betterment of the Black community or with the best interest of marriage at heart. No, she's just doing it because she has seen herself to be that much old, and one thing she should be getting at this age is marriage. And most of the things Kevin Samuels spoke about when it comes to, lonely child and all those things, is kind of very, very accurate. And this lady has proven it in this video. It is that simple. The fact that she tried to dominate this conversation says a lot about her mindset and about marriage. This lady is not going to get married. It's just more unlikely. Because how many men are willing to step up for, or to stand up for, a woman that has this kind of domineering, argumentative, kind of rebellious attitude like this? How many men, being the broke or whatever the case is, average or below average, no one is trying to wife up someone like this with this kind of bad attitude? This is unpleasant. Your age alone is a red flag. And this is a proof of why she got to that age being single. She always tried to dominate men. And when Kevin Samuels asked about, do you do that when it comes to dealing with men and all that? She's like, the men I love or something like that. No, regardless of whether you love them or not, in general, can you step up to a man and try to? The answer is yes. And the reason why they will respond yes and they know that that's not right is the fact that they don't whoop them for doing those things. There is no consequences. Even she will not try to do that to a female, because they know that if you do that to another female, both of you are female and they can hash it out straight up. So they don't do that when it comes to other females, but they try to pull these things off in front of a man, which is crazy. Guys, let's continue with the video.
But you don't have time to waste. See, I'm making light of it, man. You're 33. You're going through life thinking this is fast. No, you got 2 years before your eggs is old.
Right.
So what are you talking about? This is a fast way. This is a slow way.
Just took my 2 year plan. But
you can't make a new plan with old eggs, man. You got two relationships in 7 years. That's a problem. You shouldn't have had the next one. You should have figured something out, man. You should have involved somebody else. And that's why I said the other day, so many of our sisters are out here just making decisions on their own, not asking anybody, keeping the counsel of women, and you pick poorly. I'm telling you right now, man. Right. First thing, you're an only child. That is an issue in and of itself. Number one. Number two, you're over 30. You're 33. You have passed what is called the wall in dating and mating. Most women over 30 are too difficult to really adjust or change. There's a thing called too old to mold. It requires a woman over 30 deciding to be proactive in changing. She's past the age to where a guy can actually teach, mold, or help her. That's why guys your age go get younger women and skip right on over you, except for Netflix and chill.
So are you saying that, like, so if you're over, well, basically for me, you're saying if I need guidance, the best thing to do now would just be to get therapy, talk it out, maybe try to find somebody who understands what my goals are, and maybe get a man so they could be like,
well, let me ask you a question.
Or a male therapist.
Let me answer your question this way. How many men do you have to talk to about this?
Just a few.
How many?
Maybe see
You who?
I'm going in maybe like that I would really talk to about it, just two. Like my grandfather and then my dad probably would be it.
Holy shit. She said her father, your grandfather and your father. You didn't talk to your father. You got nobody to talk to. None. You talk to a bunch of women. So
yes, I do.
Exactly. And that's why you're alone. And that's why you're alone. So to answer your own question, talking to a bunch of women has got me by myself.
So that's the first thing that should go, is talking to women. So that's the first thing.
No, man. The first thing you need to do is realize you got a problem inside your head. And that's not a problem. You need to sit down and talk to somebody. Black folks in this country, we need therapy like a mug. But you think you can figure this out on your own? Number one, I'll tell you what I tell my female clients. The reason I don't work with women as much anymore. Therapist, personal trainer, image consultant, matchmaker. That's what you older women need. And you're an older woman when it comes to marriage. Let me make that clear. You're an older woman when it comes to marriage. You're not a young woman.
I see. So you're saying basically
you're an older woman when it comes to marriage. You should have been married 10 years ago.
So adopt a new plan.
There's no adopt a new plan either. See, you
follow an older woman's plan.
Ma'am. You don't. Okay. Let me say this again. Let me ask you this question. When have you ever followed a man's lead?
These are good questions because I've never heard them before.
Exactly, because you hang out with a bunch of batches.
I'll follow a lead in a relationship, but to your point.
Oh, you mean hold on, let me get this right. You'll follow the loser's lead?
Well, that's what I was going to say. To your point, once I start to feel like, I don't think you're leading me right, then I will.
Hold on. Is it your nature role to lead?
No.
So how
how
do you know if he's leading you right? You didn't even let your father lead you. See? This is why.
That's what I'm trying.
Listen. Okay, I'm going to the next call, ma'am. Listening to you, realistically, this whole married, stay at home, that's not going to happen. 72% of American women with children under 18 have to work full time. You're going to be in that.
Right.
If 1 in 4 black women get married. Okay.
Right.
Getting married would be astronomical right now for where you're coming from. You're all over the place. And when I say you need therapy to get out of your own head. That just means to live a decent life. But to deal with a man?
Whole different ball game.
Well, and the reality is, if you're in LA is the land of men with money. If they aren't approaching you, there's a reason. I mean, if you had to rate yourself on a scale from 1 to 10 on looks, not your body, just your looks, and you can't use 7, where would you rank yourself?
Just average girl, regular girl. I don't know what the number scale would be.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, or 10. Jesus Christ.
I don't know what the numbers mean. Just regular, what's regular? What's average?
1, 2.
What number constitutes regular average?
You went to school in the United States of America. You know what a 0 to 10 scale is.
I do, but not when it comes to rating your own personal looks.
Are you like
a 5? Is 5 like 5's right down the center? So is that?
Would you rank yourself as 5 is right down 8?
Like middle.
8 is pretty. 9 is beautiful. 10 is gorgeous. There is no 7 because most women like you would rank yourself a 7. Right down the middle would be closer to you're cutesy, but then again, how tall are you?
I'm short. I'm only 5'3".
And what dress size do you wear?
Just a 4, which I think is kind of average.
Okay. All right. So right there, you're a normal sized woman, an average looking woman. That means you get average man, making average money, living an average lifestyle.
Yeah.
So I don't understand what you're talking about.
That's good for me.
But you don't. But the last guy you said he was making more money than you.
Yeah, but that wasn't the issue of the money. It was more of just I don't really think he was serious about wanting to have kids and things like that. And obviously I don't have a lot of time. But listen, if you don't want to move to that range or you've changed your mind, then
I would say this.
Cut my losses, I guess.
Here's where it comes down ultimately down to. I've tried to kind of go around it, but average, and that's not a bad thing.
No.
At 33 years old, you got a lot of things going on in your head. I mean, this conversation has been kind of like herding cats. I'm gonna tell you right now, the guys who are like on that high earner, go-getter, ambitious, purpose-driven they're not going to do all this with you.
Okay.
They're not going to. Men don't talk this much typically. I have a show and I get paid to do this, but this is exhausting. And you're probably just having a high old good time thinking this is just good fun, and it's fucking exhausting. Right. There's no amount of sex that you could give me after this to make this worthwhile. There's not a good enough meal that you could cook to make this worthwhile.
Now I see what you're saying.
And what I'm trying to say in a reasonable way possible is you have to be able to see your own outcomes and do something about it. And the way you're talking about doing it is I'm just going to get information from a guy on YouTube.
No.
But you mean no? Yes, that's what you did.
I was just calling in on the change.
Listen, but the point is, I know, man. But we've gotten down a further path, and everything that I've asked you that could actually help you and push the ball down the court, you haven't done. Therapy, no, I think consulting. All right. What would you like?
Can I ask you one question for advice? One last question for some advice pertaining to what you're saying.
Okay.
Because I just found your channel. That's why I even was
Go ahead.
kind of. So, you are an image consultant? Is that what you do?
Yes, but I also am a life coach and I also have an advice line. You can book a one-on-one session with me, yeah, but I don't do any matchmaking, anything like that. But I can help you with your overall image.
So here's my question, because I've actually had this discussion with friends too. So in your opinion, do you think it's better for people to get life coaches or go to therapists, like psychologists or counselors?
Both.
I
don't know.
At the same time?
Look, therapists help you with clinical issues. I don't know if you're clinically depressed, and I mean, you don't know either. Stop saying Stop it. You don't know. You just go find out what's going on with you. But life coaches and that kind of stuff, that's a completely different thing than clinical therapy. But what I will tell you, you got a lot of shit going on. It's exhausting.
I'm sorry.
But that's the point. You got to interact with other people. And see, one thing about only children, we tend to not learn how to play with others because we didn't have anybody. Only children's social skills tend to suck.
Can I ask how you learned?
Engaged Day brings us to the end of today's video. Thanks for watching. All respect on the legend Kevin Samuels. This guy was fantastic with his content and his concept, and I think we should be giving him more credit than we are already doing. And guys, if you enjoy the content, one thing I always advise you to do is keep supporting the Kevin Samuels main channel, official channel that is on YouTube, Kevin Samuels. And he also have other videos on other platforms, but Kevin Samuels on YouTube, you can always support the channel based off this name on YouTube. It has almost 2 million following subscribers, so be sure that you are supporting on the right channel. Now, talking about this lady right here in this video, right? I think she's having two types of conversations. She's having a conversation of being a housewife to someone that is making tons and tons of money. Means she don't gotta work, right? And also, she says something that is so crazy in my ears. I don't know how it sounds in your ears, but I think that's BS right there. She said to get someone that believes in her goals, she has to sit down with a counselor and talk things out or something. And I don't have a problem with you sitting down with a counselor or, whatever the case is. But to make it sound like, oh, you still have goals and you're looking for a man that believes in those goals. The reality is, in the West here, especially America here, relationship, and let me just say, not just relationships in general, I think black women are fucked up in the situation whereby they're looking for someone that will lead them, and that is what they've been talking about. They want that type of a guy for a very long time. That's the conversation that is always taking place. But when they come into these type of spaces to have this type of conversation, what they kind of always talk about is a man that is just going to follow them. Because talking about a guy that believes in your goals means you are to be there, and that guy is supposed to be your support system, which is not supposed to be that way. It's supposed to be the other way around. A man has to be on his purpose, on his goals, and you're supposed to get in there and be his support system. That's just how it goes. If you are putting yourself that way, if you are trying to look for someone like that, I think that kind of makes sense. To talk of someone that will believe in your goals and all that, I think that sounds BS. And that is the more reason why she's single. She's looking for, I think women oftentimes, when they are talking about masculine men or high value men, they are always looking for beta males, right? In a masculine body. Like, let me just say, they are always looking for beta males with money. That's what they're basically always looking for. They're always looking for suckers that has money. That's just what women are mostly describing. So I'm just saying, if you are looking for someone that is a provider with this kind of money that you thinking that you should get from a guy to be able to sit at home, I think you should have to understand that you have to be there have to be some level of an energy in you for that man to even be willing to go down that path with you. I'm just saying. But often women always think that everything is just going to be played on their way, their way or the highway. No. It is going to play on the man's terms, not you. Talk to me like a price. We have a 33-year-old lady that still speaks like someone that is in her 23, 24, 25. Like she still got some leverage in this thing. And that's the arrogance right there. A man coming to settle down with you at a 33, that man should be worshipped on a daily basis. I think the women don't hear how crazy these things sound when they say it. A woman marrying at over 30 years old is not marriage. We call it rescue mission. That's just what it is, man. You cannot tell me from age 18 to 25 to 30, you haven't gotten a man that really want to be with you. And that explains why she's single. And I said this. The reason why this lady is having this conversation right now is I think there is pressure from parents, right, coming from all angles that she has to get married or something like that. Because I don't see any level of seriousness in her conversation, and everything just sounds to me like it's just what it is, man. It is the fact that she's looking for someone to kind of retire on, if that kind of makes sense. She's not doing it because of the best interest of the community or doing it because she has to do it. It is important to her, but she thinks that it is the right thing to do, and that's how everything sounds to me. I don't know what this kind of sound in your ears, how it sounds in your ears, but let me know how it sounds in your ears in the comment section. And if you like the video, subscribe to the channel, stay tuned, turn post notification bell on so that any video we will post, you will be, if not the first, but second, third, first person to just receive it. That's just how I'll put it basically. And always don't forget to check Kevin Samuels' original channel, which has the name Kevin Samuels on it. Give your support to the channel so that at least the channel will be alive. As long as the channel is alive, I think we are able to keep the content alive. Guys, catch you in the next episode. Like I said, if you enjoyed it, like the video, subscribe, and leave your comments in the comment section. Catch you in the next one. I'm out, and peace, guys.